Backstage, the cameras weren't supposed to catch this, but they did. And what they captured has the entire WWE locker room whispering, arguing, and some even saying the same thing. This has gone too far. Because what happened between Roman Reigns and CM Punk after Raw wasn't just another heated moment. It was personal. It was angry. And, depending on who you believe backstage, it might have just started a war that could tear the entire locker room apart. But before we break down what Roman did, what Punk said, and why some WWE superstars are secretly taking sides,
Let me ask you something.
if Roman Reigns and CM Punk had a real fight, not scripted, not planned, who do you think walks out first? Drop your answer in the comments. Because by the time you hear everything that happened backstage, you might change your mind. The tension didn't start when Roman attacked. It started earlier that night. Raw was already buzzing. You could feel it. Backstage sources said the atmosphere felt strange from the moment CM Punk arrived at the arena. Some wrestlers described it as walking into a storm, because Punk wasn't just there to wrestle.
He was there to talk.
And when CM Punk grabs a microphone, history tells us one thing. Someone is about to get exposed. During the show, Punk walked out to the ring looking calm. Too calm. You know that look he gets. The one where he smiles just a little bit like he already knows something everyone else doesn't. The crowd was loud. Chants everywhere. But Punk didn't start talking right away. He just looked around. Then he said something that made the arena go quiet. He said, "Funny thing about kings, eventually someone realizes they're just wearing a costume." The crowd reacted instantly, because everyone knew exactly who he was talking about. Roman Reigns. Now here's the thing. Roman wasn't even scheduled to appear on Raw that night. At least, not publicly. But according to people backstage, Roman was already in the building. And when Punk said that line, someone saw Roman watching the monitor backstage. And he wasn't smiling. Not even close. Punk kept going. He talked about dominance, about leadership, about respect. Then he said something that people backstage say crossed the line. Punk looked straight into the camera and said, "Some people call themselves the tribal chief. But a real leader doesn't disappear when things get tough." The crowd exploded. But backstage? Silence. Because Roman Reigns has built his entire legacy on that title. The tribal chief. And Punk just mocked it. Quick question for you. Do you think CM Punk was right to call Roman out like that? Or did he push things too far? Let me know in the comments. Because things were about to get way worse. After the segment ended, Punk walked backstage. And according to multiple people who were near the gorilla position, Roman Reigns was already moving.
Fast.
Now here's something interesting. Roman doesn't usually rush. If you've watched his career, you know this. Roman moves slow.
Confident.
Controlled. But that night, people said he walked past talent, producers, and crew members without saying a word. Straight toward the locker room hallway, where Punk had just walked. One WWE staff member reportedly said, "Everyone knew something was about to happen." And then, it did. The hallway cameras didn't show everything, but they caught enough. CM Punk was talking to a producer when Roman Reigns suddenly appeared. No music. No warning. Just Roman standing there, face stone cold. For a few seconds, no one spoke. Just tension. Then Roman finally said something. 3 words. "You got jokes?" Punk reportedly laughed. Actually laughed. Which may have been the worst possible thing he could have done. Because the moment he did, Roman stepped forward. Now here's where the situation exploded. Witnesses say Punk responded with something that instantly changed Roman's expression. He said, "If the crown fits, wear it." And that was it. Roman snapped. Roman Reigns lunged forward and shoved Punk into a stack of production crates. Hard. People nearby rushed in. But Punk pushed back. And suddenly the 2 biggest personalities in wrestling were face to face in a real confrontation. Not storyline. Not scripted.
Real.
Let me pause right here and ask you something. Who do you think threw the first real punch? Roman Reigns or CM Punk? Type Roman or Punk in the comments. Because the answer might surprise you. According to multiple backstage sources, Punk swung first, but Roman hit harder. way harder. One crew member said Roman's punch knocked Punk back into a wall. And that's when chaos erupted.
Producers jumped in.
Security rushed over. Superstars nearby started yelling. Someone reportedly shouted, "Break it up before this gets worse." But by then, it already had. Roman was furious. Not storyline angry. Real angry. People said they've rarely seen him like that. And if you know Roman's reputation backstage, that says a lot. Because Roman is usually calm, professional. But Punk has a way of pushing people. And that night, he pushed the wrong person. Now here's something that's dividing the locker room. Some wrestlers think Roman was completely justified. Others think he lost control. And a few are saying something even more shocking. They think Punk wanted this to happen. Think about it. Punk knows exactly how to press buttons. He's done it his entire career. From pipe bombs, to backstage arguments, to calling out authority figures. Punk understands controversy better than almost anyone. So the big question is, did Punk disrespect Roman on purpose, hoping to provoke him? Or did Roman simply take things too personally? Drop your opinion below, because the answer could change how this entire situation is viewed. Backstage, after security separated them, things didn't calm down immediately. In fact, they got louder. Roman reportedly demanded Punk apologize for the tribal chief comment. Punk refused. Flat out refused. Instead, he allegedly said, "If you can't handle words, you shouldn't be the head of anything." That line reportedly made several people nearby gasp, because tensions were already at maximum. And Punk just threw gasoline on the fire. Roman had to be physically held back. Yes, held back. 3 people reportedly stepped between them, including a producer who's broken up fights before. And according to witnesses, Roman wasn't done.
He kept pointing at Punk saying,
"You're going to regret that." Now imagine being a younger superstar watching this unfold. 2 of the biggest names in wrestling history. Arguing. Security involved. Tempers exploding. This wasn't normal backstage drama. This was locker room dividing chaos. One anonymous wrestler reportedly said something interesting afterward. They said, "This feels bigger than just an argument." And honestly, they might be right. Because there's history here. A lot of history. CM Punk has never been shy about criticizing the wrestling industry. He's called out management, locker rooms, entire companies. And Roman Reigns represents something very specific in modern wrestling. The chosen face, the dominant champion, the centerpiece. So when Punk mocks Roman, it doesn't just feel like trash talk. It feels like a challenge to the entire system. And Roman takes leadership seriously. He sees himself as the standard, the locker room leader, the tribal chief. So when someone publicly questions that, especially someone like Punk, it becomes personal.
Fast.
Another question for you. Do you think Roman Reigns is the true locker room leader right now? Or does someone else deserve that title? I'm curious what you think. Comment below. After the fight was broken up, both men were reportedly separated into different areas of the arena. Roman stayed with members of his crew. Punk was escorted to another locker room. And for a while, no one knew what would happen next. Some thought Roman might leave. Others thought Punk might demand another confrontation. Instead, both men stayed. But the atmosphere backstage had completely changed. Several wrestlers reportedly avoided the hallway where the fight happened. Not because they were scared, but because the tension was still thick. Like something unfinished was hanging in the air. And here's where things get even more interesting. Later that night, Roman reportedly said something to someone backstage that has fans buzzing. He allegedly said, "If Punk wants a war, he's got one." Now think about that.
War.
Not match. Not rivalry.
War.
That statement alone has people wondering something huge. Could WWE turn this real tension into the biggest storyline of the year? Because, let's be honest, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk, with real heat behind it, that's box office. Massive box office. But there's a risk. Real fights create real grudges. And sometimes, those don't disappear when the cameras turn on. Some veterans backstage reportedly tried calming things down. One of them allegedly told Punk, "You proved your point. Don't push it further." But Punk being Punk, he didn't look concerned. In fact, someone said he looked amused, which honestly might drive Roman even crazier, because Roman doesn't like disrespect, especially public disrespect. And Punk just delivered it in front of millions of viewers. Now imagine if these two step into the ring soon. Think about the energy. The crowd would know what happened backstage. Every stare, every shove, every punch. It would feel different.
Real.
Let's take a second here. If Roman Reigns versus CM Punk happens at a major event, who wins? Roman?
Punk?
Or does the match end in complete chaos? Tell me your prediction. Backstage insiders say WWE officials are already aware of how big this situation could become. Because controversy sells. And when two megastars clash like this, fans pay attention. But there's also a challenge. Both Roman and Punk are strong personalities. Neither likes backing down. And neither likes being embarrassed. So managing this situation carefully will be crucial. One thing is certain though. The locker room is watching closely. Some are siding with Roman. Others respect Punk for speaking his mind. And a few are just hoping things don't escalate again. Because if another confrontation happens, it might not end with security stepping in. It might end in a ring, with millions watching. And honestly, that might be exactly what both men want. Before we wrap up, I want to ask one final question.
Think carefully about this one.
Was Roman Reigns right to attack CM Punk after that disrespect, or should he have handled it differently? Drop your answer in the comments, because this debate is just getting started. One thing is certain: backstage chaos, real anger, and two legends who refuse to back down. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and a situation that could explode again at any moment. If this turns into a match, it won't just be another rivalry. It will be personal. And when wrestling becomes personal, anything can happen. So keep your eyes on this story, because the next chapter might be even more explosive than the fight backstage. And if Roman and Punk cross paths again, don't expect security to save the day. You might just witness the moment when two wrestling giants finally settle things the only way they know how. Inside the ring, where respect is earned the hard way.